G'day headbangers and welcome to Dazzle's Metalworks. Welcome back my fellow metalheads for another week of Dazzle's Metalworks. We'll get straight into it this week. I've gone another decade and with a 4 in it. So this week I'm doing the year of 2014. Now this year was a bit for me to do. There's a lot of albums I picked. Unfortunately though, a lot of these albums were kind of semi-average, and even though I have listened to them a few times, some of them just didn't really stand out to me, but I've put them in simply of course it's from one of my favourite bands and I've just put them there anyway. So kind of a countdown this week. But let's get it straight into it. So, honourable mentions. We'll start off with Broken Crown Halo from Lacuna Coil. Again, it's an album I've only listened to a couple of times. Haven't been really able to nail a song down as yet. But, you know, listen to it a few more times, see what I can find. The next one is Lunar Manifesto by Semblant. Now, they've got an amazing duo singers here. Mizuno Lin being the female, great voice on her. The only track that stood out for me on that album though is What Lies Ahead. Fantastic song. Now the next one, the honourable mentions, is Baby Metal with their self-titled album. Now Baby Metal are a Japanese kawaii metal band, and yeah, a lot of people are not a huge fan of them, maybe because it's the J-pop lyrics with the, you know, the metal music. I like them. A lot of people don't. You know, a lot of Rob Halford likes them. Rob Zombie liked them. So yeah, you know, can't be doing anything wrong there. The only standout track for me on the first album though was Gimme Chocolate. So yeah, that's Baby Metal. Right, so now the actual start of the countdown. Now this album, didn't really like it when I first heard it. I have listened to it again since, but still haven't really got into it that much. So number 10 is Hydra by Within Temptation. Now usually Within Temptation to me can't really do any wrong, but I kind of went off them a bit with this album. But I did listen to the latest album, which was something Bleed Through, or I can't remember what it was. And that was actually quite good, so I might have to go back and listen to Hydra again. Next one, number 9, is Sacrificium by Exandria. Now the standout track for me on this one is Nightfall. The whole album's pretty decent though, because this was the first album featuring Diane Van Gisbergen on vocals. Now, she's a stunning, beautiful woman, but her vocals are quite possibly one of the best female vocals I've ever heard in metal. Her octave range is high as, and it's like, wow, you know, absolutely amazing. She only had 2 albums with them before she left, and now is doing a solo career, which hopefully will be just as good as when she was with Exandria. But that's number 9. Okay, number 8, we have The Grey Chapter by Slipknot. Now, this was the first album not featuring Paul Gray and Joey Jordison. Joey obviously left the band / got kicked out, depending on how you ask. But it's the album where they made a tribute to Paul Gray, the late bass player. He was a great bass player, and yeah, passed away, and they dedicated this album to him. So yeah, good album there. But the ones that stand out for me for that one is The Devil and I, fantastic track, and the song specifically for Paul titled Goodbye. So yeah, good album, that one. Then the next one, number 7, we have War Eternal by Arch Enemy. It is the first album featuring their new vocalist Alyssa White-Gluz. Angela Gosso, the previous vocalist, stood down, became their manager. Alyssa came from The Agonist and joined Arch Enemy, and has been with her ever since, and she's fantastic. standout tracks for me on this one is the title track War Eternal, and number 2 is You Will Never Know My Name. So yeah, that's started collecting Iced Earth albums after that one. Fantastic. Alright, so number 6. This band I liked for quite a number of years, but as soon as the lead singer left the band, kind of lost interest in them, because some bands, when they get a new vocalist, you just lose interest in them because they're just not as good as the first one. But we're talking about the band Delain and their album The Human Contradiction. Fantastic album. Second track that got me into them was The Body Is Your Battleground. But the song number 1 is Stardust. Now Stardust is the song that got me into Delain. Really like them. Fantastic band. But ever since Charlotte Vessels left the band, wasn't a keen on the new singer. Charlotte's gone solo. Haven't really heard any of her solo stuff, but if it's anything like her stuff with Delain, it should be pretty sweet. Okay, number 5. Now the funny thing is, apart from the title track, this week was the first time I actually listened to this album and actually really enjoyed it, and actually I was able to pick out my top 3 songs from it just for listening to it once, which is very rare for me. But anyway, we're talking about Rock or Bust by AC/DC, the Aussie lads. So yeah, number 3 is obviously their title track, Rock or Bust. Number 2 is Rock the Blues Away. And number 3, Got Some Rock and Roll Thunder. Now like I said, this is the first time I listened to this album during the week, but I was pretty impressed. I had heard Rock or Bust before when Acca Dacca performed it live at the Grammys for the first time, and yeah, I was really impressed. So yeah, but it is Acca Dacca, so it's pretty sweet there. Right, so number 4. Now the next couple of albums, well, a few albums on this list, like I said, I've only listened to them a few times. Couldn't really pick out any tracks that stood out, but the whole album was pretty average to good in saying it. But anyway, number 4 is Plagues of Babylon by Iced Earth. This is the second album with their singer Stu Block after Matt Barlow left. And yeah, whole album's pretty decent. And yeah, but like I said, no standout tracks for that one. Okay, number 3. Now this album, on the other hand, I've listened to quite a number of times. And the whole album is fantastic. And I've actually got a top 5 songs for this one. And this is Heroes by Sabaton. Now number 1 is No Bullets Fly. Number 2 is Night Witches. Number 3 is Resist and Bite. Number 4, To Hell and Back. And number 5, which is for all us Aussies, will have a good personal meaning because it's about an Aussie. It's called Ballad of Bull. It's about an Aussie guy who basically kicked some ass in World War One, I think it was, saving a whole bunch of Yanks in the process. And yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, number 2. Definitely, I'd probably say my favourite album from these guys, if not the second favourite, and that's Massive Addictive by Amaranth. It's the first album featuring their new guttural or harsh vocalist, Henrik England. But yeah, going backwards for this one, number 3 is Trinity. Number 2, Drop Dead Cynical, which I believe was their first single release from the album. And then, as my mate Rexy knows, probably to this day, still my favourite Amaranth song, and that is Digital World. Absolutely fantastic song. Cracker, banger, corker, ripside, or whatever you want to say. But yeah, now number 1, had a very good listen to this album during the week. And even though it is one of my 3 favourite bands, it's just, I was actually disappointed to it when I went back to listen to it again. But this is Redeemer of Souls by Judas Priest. Like I said, listen to it all the way through at work again during the week, having a good listen. And even though it's good because it's Priest, I actually found it compared to a lot of their other albums kind of average. But, you know, it's still okay. But number 1 for there. But that's my top 10 for 2014. Sorry, it wasn't a more interesting one, boys and girls, but yeah, them's the breaks. But in saying that, This week I'm adding on a little bit of extra. I am putting in an album review. I sprung this one on Rexy. He had no idea till I rocked up at his place this Harvey, but you know, I've been listening to this album just about every day this week. It is the brand new album from the band New Year's Day called Half Black Heart, released in March this year. And yeah, I've been listening to it over and over again this week, along with the album that they did beforehand. But what an album. These guys are amazing, seriously. So my top 3 tracks, working backwards, is Fearless, Hurts Like Hell, and the best song of the album, and probably become one of my favourite New Year's Day songs, is a song called Vampire. But it's spelled Vampyre. And I saw the video clip for it the other day, and oh my god. Look, this band is an absolute rip snorter. I did listen to their first album, and it was really crappy. But as their albums went along, they got better and better. Unbreakable, their previous album, was fantastic. And this album, oh my god. Fair crack of the whip, fair suck of the sav, fair shake of the Shaw's bottle. Any Aussie slang rip snorter comment you want to say there, this album has it all. It was amazing. So you guys and girls out there, have a listen to it. That's Half Black Heart by New Year's Day. Get into it. And now on a slightly semi-Australian personal note. We had our Anzac Day a few days ago here in Australia. Now, those who don't know about Anzac Day, it's the Australian New Zealand Army Corps. It was when they landed at Gallipoli all those years ago, and they pretty much got hammered. But Anzac Day is celebrated 25th of April every single year. So, lest we forget, for those amazing brave souls who gave their lives for our freedom, and to all our current servicemen and women serving our country, thank you for your service. And on that note, my fellow metalheads, have another rockin' week, and until next time, wash on.